Welcome to the MyMoto YouTube channel. This is an award-winning helmet, and that's not something you hear very often. So let's take a closer look at this Airoh Matryx and find out what makes it so good. Now, before we get started on this Airoh Matryx, please take the time to give us a like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. If you've got any questions about this helmet, leave it in the comments. Now, the first time I saw the Airoh Matryx was at the ABR festival. Airoh had put a stand on, and I honestly thought, looking at the shape of it, the full carbon construction, I thought this was a new FIM, all singing, dancing race helmet. That's what I thought I was looking at. It was only when I started looking closer that you realise that there's a lot more to this helmet than just a track helmet. This is actually a very versatile road helmet with all the styling and aerodynamics of a race helmet. And that is one of the things I think led to it winning an IF Design Award. IF Design Awards are extremely prestigious. They're not something you can get easily. And it puts this helmet alongside things like the Ferrari FXX and the Ducati V4 Panigale. So let's have a closer look, take this helmet apart and see what the components are that make it such a good helmet. First of all, ventilation. So we have got a chin vent down here and we've got a top vent here. You'll see you've got two intakes at the bottom here. So big switch pressed at the front, two intakes, and these are angled slightly with a slight lip, so when you're in that slightly tucked position, it's scooping the air into those intakes. We've also got a big top vent up here with a nice easy switch to operate it. And the reason why the top vent is all the way up here instead of further down, if we open the visor here, you'll see it's got an internal sun visor. And that is one of the first clues as to how practical this helmet is as a road helmet. And it goes way beyond that. As we start looking at the internals, you'll see some of the practicalities of it. The outside the shell, so we've got two shell sizes, goes from extra small up to double extra large. Obviously, extra small, small, medium is one shell, large, extra large, the larger shell. So depending on what size helmet you wear, this could look like a very nice low profile helmet or could look quite big. The shells themselves, this one is a full 6K carbon, but there is also a carbon composite version which you can get in plain colours or graphics. Now, pricing. So for a plain one, you're looking at $299.99. For a graphic version, you're looking at $324.99. And for a full carbon one, you're looking at $399.99. I don't know about you, but I think it's worth the extra for the carbon. This would definitely be my choice. It comes with a Pinlock included in the box, which you can insert into the inside of this visor. And it also comes with a little wind curtain that you can add to this. It's already got a slight one here, but you can Velcro a new one that extends it further under your chin to help reduce the wind noise. So if I had one criticism for this helmet, it would be the communication systems that Airoh's just brought out for it. We've been waiting ages for Airoh to bring out this AW con that will fit into here and into the back section. We had high hopes, and now they've released it. It's just a Bluetooth rider to rider communication. So if you had two, like a rider and a passenger, it'll be fine for that. But to be honest, communication systems have moved on and mesh is what everyone wants. So personally, I would just stick a Cardo on the outside. You can actually get the plugs to go through these holes so that all your communication wires all drop into the shell there instead of having to tuck underneath. It just takes a little bit of adapting to the plug to get it through there. And other than that, I can't really fault this helmet. And the communication system technically is not part of the helmet. It's been made to take it, but it doesn't come with it. So everything you get when you buy these Airoh Matryx is absolutely bang on. Now what we're going to do next is have a look at the visor. Now the visor has got an anti-fog system with it, but it also comes with a Pinlock. It has a release slip latch here, so you just press this, you'll see the visor starts to come up, and it's a dual axis visor. So as it comes down to that last position, the mechanism pulls the visor back onto the seal slightly. And you'll see as we go up, the visor comes away and then you've got 3 or 4 notches there. So notch, 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 okay? To release the visor, you've got a little lever at the side here. Pull that lever down, and then because it's got that dual axis system, there's 2 springs that are holding that kind of in position still. So we pull that lever down and pull the visor forward, like so. Then we do the same on the other side. So pull that lever down, that release the front edge, and then just pull it forward until it clicks out. And there we go, we've took the visor off. Now you'll see inside you've got your sun visor. To remove the sun visor, just simply put it down into the lowest position, and you want to just pull the sun visor outwards as close as you can to the edge. It basically just clips in. So pull one side, we'll do the other side. Okay, so I've unclipped it on either side. We now need to lower it down. So once you've got that visor down below this rubber seal at the top, you can then pull the visor outwards and it'll unclip. And you can see there, it's basically just a 2-pronged fork that drops in and clips around a peg, which is in the center there. Now that's the internal sun visor out, you can have a look at the side mechanism for the visor. So you've got 2 screws to remove this base plate, and you can see just below that there, you've got the anchor point for the chin strap, which is tucked behind the visor itself. So again, it doesn't spoil the aesthetics of the outside of the lid, it's hidden. With the flip down internal visor, you've got this little lever on the side here that operates how it goes up and down. There's a slight notch at the end, which is what clips it up in the up position. And you'll see when you operate it without the visor in, it only operates one side. So it's a cable operated single side pulley. You can get some helmets that will have these same sliders that are cable operated and they actually pull both sides at the same time. But what it does do, with it being cable operated, it's extremely smooth, and you can actually set the height of that internal sun visor to where you want it. You don't have to go all the way down into the down position. If we look at the visor seal, so we've got a hollow rubber with a blade on it. So that should give us a good visor seal as well. And then you've also got, you'll see at the side near the visor mechanism, 2 plastic inserts that are in the rubber there. And what they're there for is to help that any condensation, any moisture that's near that visor surface gets drawn out by the vacuum. As the air passes over the side of this, off the side of the visor, it does create a slight vacuum in here where the mechanism is, and that's what's going to pull that air through there and out, helping to keep your visor clear. Now onto the internals of the helmet. When you look at the underside of this helmet, you'll see it's got these 2 pull tabs. Now this is so in an emergency, if a rider's had an incident and they've still got the helmet on but there might be a neck injury, you can actually pull these, release those cheek pads and take them out so that the helmet can be lifted off the person who's wearing it without it pulling on the neck any extra. So all the race helmets now have these, and it's becoming a standard feature across all helmets, which is a brilliant thing to see because it is a good safety feature. With these Airohs, the clip that holds the cheek pad in doesn't like being pulled out directly out. It likes to slide out the way this would be pulled. Now that's a bit different to some of the manufacturers. They say only use these in an emergency, and if you want to remove the cheek pad, you just undo the press studs as normal. With this one, I found it doesn't really want to unclip like that. So what you can actually do is use these, pull down on that, push down on the top of the cheek pad, and you'll hear it unclip there. That's undone, basically the front 2, and there's one inside up here, just at the side of the visor port up here. It's undone those 3. You've got an additional normal press stud at the back, so just behind where your ear would be. So you undo that, and then you can pull that cheek pad out, and it's just slotted in at the back there. So there's the cheek pad. Real nice feeling cheek pad as well. It's got plenty of cushion to it, nice material to cover it. It's a max cool lining. It's also sweat wicking, antibacterial. So really good helmet lining, but also whenever you get these antibacterial linings on your cheek pads, on your skull cap liner, you still need to clean them every once in a while. The bacteria from your sweat will get into the sponge and the sponge isn't antibacterial, so you're best to keep them clean, and that's why having these removable parts is a good thing. So let's put that one down. We'll pull the next one out. So again, pull there. Now we don't want to over pull on this. It's not an emergency. So if you pull down on that and push down on the top here, together, it puts a bit less strain on it. Unclip that. You've got a press stud at the back. So we're going to undo that. And then just slide that cheek pad out. The skull cap lining, 2 standard press studs at the back. So just pull and pull, they pop out. And then at the front, we've basically got like almost like a buckle clip that slides in and clips across here to hold that in place. So we're gonna just lift upwards and you'll hear it unclip. There you go. Same on this side. Just pinch that skull cap and lift. So this is Airoh's sliding net system. This gives the helmet some slight rotational dampening, allows that to move within the EPS lining. Again, matte skull lining, antibacterial, sweat wicking. When we look at the EPS inside the helmet, you can see it's done in sectional pieces. So we've got 2 pieces here around the cheeks, a piece that goes around the back, a piece up at the top, and you've got your forehead. Now the reason for that is the different densities of EPS maximize the impact absorption. With the majority of manufacturers, it's done in this way where there's sections with different densities. Now we're looking at the inside of the helmet, it's giving us some more clues as to how practical it is. What you can see in the side here, on the plastic, just behind the cheek pad, you can see where your speaker would go in for your intercom. So we've got a little foam disc in the insert to just fill it out while there's no intercom in. So you can peel that foam disc out, and when you look inside, you've got cable tidies that run right the way through where your speaker is going to go, right the way through to your chin. And not only that, they come round the chin and give us a recess for a microphone in the chin there. But then you look even closer, there's even more attention to detail. You can see on the cable tidies, it's twice as wide before the speaker, and then narrower from the speaker around to the chin. And that's because you're going to most likely have bigger cables or 2 cables running up to where the speaker is, and then just a single cable from there on. So the attention to detail in the design of this helmet is right there. And not only that, this whole form that Airoh have designed has been developed in their own wind tunnel that they have in the factory. So like I say, the aerodynamics, the shape of it, that is so smart and so clever, and really turns this helmet into what is potentially a brilliant touring helmet. You've got your flip down visor, all your comms are going to fit in it, dead neat and smart. It's aerodynamic, it's lightweight, it's a great lid. Okay, so before we build this helmet back up, let's just run through some of Airoh's acronyms. We've got the ASN written here in the skull cap. That's Airoh's sliding net system, which I mentioned earlier. We have got AEFR, which is Airoh's emergency fast release. And then for the visor, we've got ATVR, which is Airoh's toolless visor removal. Okay, so first thing we're going to put back in is I'm going to drop the internal sun visor back in. Whenever you're going to do this, make sure you wipe any fingerprints you got on it when you're removing it, wipe them off. And then we're just going to clip that down into the 2 side clips. Now, the clip on the side with the cable, you can set where that is and you can move it down. The other one is a bit of like on a free hinge, so just make sure that's spun down so you can get into it. If it's missing, it's probably just rotated up slightly, you just need to pull it back down into place. We're going to get the visor and just push until you hear a clip like that. Same on this side, just push, and then any fingerprints you put on doing that, just wipe them away. We can now retract that visor using the lever at the side, tuck that away, and we're then going to put in our skull cap. Put the skull cap back in, we want to do the front first, so we're going to slide it in under the chin strap, make sure that's out the way. We don't want the chin strap caught underneath it. And then those 4 buckle style clips, just going to get them lined up and then push, and you'll hear it click. Next one, push, hear it click, click. Last one on this side. There you go. So that's the 4 clips now in place there. 2 press studs at the back. Push until you can hear a click, like that. Then we're going to put in our cheek pads. Now, same thing again. These don't really like to push in. They don't seem to clip the same way. So the best thing I've found is to slide this up into position. So when you get this in, drop the back of it into between the outer shell and the EPS there. Slide that in, make sure it's pushed right the way across. We're going to do the press stud at the back. So make sure that's clipped. And then with the front of the cheek pad, we're actually going to have it slightly low and slide upwards until we hear it click in place. Now you need to make sure it's pushed down into the interior of the helmet. So you're pushing it down that way at the same time sliding up to make sure that those 2 front pegs slide into position together. You can check they're in place by just giving it a little pull, make sure it doesn't come away from the backing. And then the last one, we've got one up here at the side, and you can literally just give the cheek pad a little bit of a squeeze, drop that into the slot, and then push it up into its place. So that's that cheek pad back in. Let's do the same with the other one. So we're going to put that back in there, chin strap through, do the back press stud first, slide those 2 front clips into place like that, and then pinch the cheek pad and slide the top one in. So that's the cheek pads all back in. When you go to put the visor on, we've got that dual axis system still, and it's sprung under pressure. So get the top peg, the top clip here, line that up in the up position so that it's going to go in like that. And once you've got that in, you pull the visor mechanism forward until you hear a click. Same on this side. So we're going to put that in the top, line this up. You'll see basically you want to go for the top notch with this front one here, pull it forward until that bottom edge clicks in, and that is completely built up. Hopefully you've enjoyed our video. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more of our future content. If you've got any questions about the Matryx or any other helmets that we supply, then leave it in the comments and we'll get back to you. We can answer questions, or if you want future tutorials and things like that, then leave it in the comments. If you want to support my moto, then we have 3 stores. We've got a store in Manchester, a store in Leeds, and a store in Claycross in Derbyshire. All we ask is next time you're looking for some bike kit, if you're near one of our stores, stop in and have a look at what we've got. Alternatively, if you're not near one of our stores, we've got 2 websites. So mymoto-uk.com or dstoremanchester.co.uk are our 2 websites. Swing by, have a look at our kit, or go online and have a look on there. Thank you for watching. Until next time, ride safe.